Holy crap, managina mami. Oh my gosh, dude, let me tell you a story. So we buy this saw. It's a Makita cordless. I don't even know. It's the newer DXT. I'll put the model number in the description. But at any rate, so nice saw, cuts well. We do a lot of trim work. Look what I'm doing. I'm trimming all this stuff. But the point is for two batteries, you get a good amount of runtime. If they're the 5 ones, the 3 ones it'll fit literally half amount of your runtime, and that's cutting MDF or pine. So you start going to poplar or hardwoods, probably even less than that. The laser on this is decent. Let me see. You can see my hand. See, so that's about so it gives a good read. But in relation to these thin curved blades, which I'm really not a fan of, but on the cordless saws, you got to use a thin curved blade. Use these gnarly, like I like these triple chips or an alternate negative degree blade. It's gonna just kill the saw, dude. It doesn't have enough balls to really run nice. So I was using these Diablos, just the regular, not the ultra finish. You go to Home Cheapo, it's like the $30 blade. It works fine. I don't know. I send them to the sharpener guy. They charge me $15 to sharpen the blade, and away I go. So that's what I've been using on this saw. It has a rail forward design. I kind of liked it because it was replicating the dust collection that we use on a Festool system. So, you know, I was looking at the Festool saws, and it really, like, I needed a cordless one because we're doing a lot of new construction and there's just no power anytime. So the Festool hose fits right in the dust port. Dust port kind of sucks how it attaches. They give you like this little screw in the back to hold it on. Here, watch this. It doesn't do anything. So really, I really have to get a screw that goes through this plastic, and that'll hold it on nicely. You got to remember, I have a lot of guys working for me, and they're not what I would call gentle with my stuff. So which brings me to my point of how this is set up. So right now I'm cutting 16-foot lengths, so I got two stands out on these DeWalt stands. It works rather well. The reason I took the Makita platform in the first place was really because I got a lot of Makita tools. Everything's Makita. So I just keep rolling with it, and here I am with a cordless Makita saw. The fence, holy shit. So I was just cutting this big ass crown, and I'm not compounding. I'm kind of just putting it on the fence like this, and you know, I marked the top of my crown, so that's about the height that I'm working with, right? Let me tell you something. This fence was so effed up. It wasn't even funny. I thought I was either drunk, I had COVID, or something was wrong. So I figured here's what I had to do. So I put the saw up and I zeroed it, right? So these slots, it's actually a cool way they did this. So if you loosen these screws, these holes are elongated on this faceplate, which has the detents, preset detents. And what I have a feeling happened was this isn't really cut where it should be at 45. I don't know. It's just my interpretation. Because what I did, I zeroed the saw. I loosened these screws. I marked where the screw was, and I slid it to 0. Right? Put the square on here, and it's 0. So now I slid it to 45. It's 45 on this side of the fence. I slide it to this, it's fucking 47. There's your problem, George. So what I had to do, look what I had to do, right? So I had to grind this down, and this is still going off of 0 on this fence. You gotta zero the blade, right? Otherwise, 0 ain't 0, you're fucked. So I had to grind. I'm talking like a little bit of off of this fence stop, right? And then on this side, what I did was I took this fence off. It's these two set screws, you know, these Allen key screws come out, and I had to elongate the holes. It's some crappy, it's really a very soft aluminum on this, and even so, now I got this good. And anyway, I elongated the holes and I slid this back. Look how far back. Look how off it is, dude. Look at here. And look at here, and that's true now. Now it's true. Holy cow! And whatever the case, but I still think I have an inkling that this isn't cut where it says should be 45, because that don't make any sense to me. Why one side's good and one side isn't. I mean, unless you dropped it off my truck or something, but I don't know. But other than that, so I just fixed that. Now I can start cutting molding again. Hooray! But at any rate, we had this saw for a while. I like the rail forward design. It's pretty stable. The only thing I'm really not happy with is this fence. It's a little sloppy. So even so, if I take something flat and I put it against this fence, really it's here, let me find a piece I can show you what I'm talking about. So watch this. So I got this up against there. So it's pretty true on the bottom, right? Look at the bottom where I'm here. Now I'm gonna go up here, watch this. It's loose as a goose. You see my deviation there? And you're cutting crown, man, that'll screw you up. So it's okay off of this base fence, but these pieces that are made to be removable, like I don't compound a lot. I don't like to compound, but like sometimes you have to. But that's why I got a 15-inch miter saw. And then I don't have to compound that garbage, because it's, if you're off a little bit with this single stage molding, it just compounds and it multiplies. So really what I'm going to do next is, they have these holes pre-drilled. Hooray, good thing they do. And we're going to get a piece of 3/8 or 1/4-inch aluminum flat stock. I'm going to make my own fence and put it stable across it here, because there's no effing way that this is going to help me. We might have to shim this out a little bit to make it true. But now at least I got this true. So that's cool, But and then a couple other things. If you want, the other cool thing is, if you want to not have it go in these detents, you could push this back, and now the saw will slide free. Do it with a thumb screw. There's a lot less moving parts in this thing. Like the older Makita saws, they had all these springs and like just too much stuff to break, man. The guy's stripping my knob out because you can't even read the picture directions. It's sad, but that's what you got to work with. You know what I mean? It sucks, but what are you gonna do? And then what else did I want to show you? Oh yeah, so this, if you want to bevel the saw, you bevel it this way, kind of like the Festool, but it's just it's not a dial. It's just, this just loosens it. It just sounds like it's cool, but this is just a lock, and then you swing the saw left or right, and then you cut this in and relock it. The other nice thing is there's no more wrenches. It's just this Allen key. The Allen key does everything. The fence, the blade, everything you need to do is with this Allen key, and it gets stored right in here in this little hole. But I gotta lock this back down. I was just, dude, I'm telling you, man, like 45 minutes of freaking with this saw just so I can get it square again. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened, because I think someone balanced something and they bent it, or I don't know what happened. But at any rate, the cool thing is that this slides, and then this has some adjustment too. So they give you some room, but I don't know if it was out of the box that way or what, but I'm gonna wager that this faceplate isn't really 100. I think it was Chinesiumed a little bit, and got a chink in the chain there. So fix that. Other than that, decent saw for a cordless saw. They also have one last thing that I just remembered. They got this. They kind of ripped off the Festool. Like they got that flip stop so you could cut a higher gauge. They notched this out. We used to cut these out back in the day with a grinder, so you could cut the higher molding and stuff. But you just 60 tooth is plenty on this saw. I wouldn't go any more than that, because you start to dog it. It's a little underpowered in my opinion. But use the 5/8 blades, and away you go. And sometimes you just keep your eyes out for a good deal. But I don't know if there's only a couple different versions of this, and this one came with the charger and the batteries and the saw. It was like the whole shebang, and it was a Home Depot one at like $3.99 or something like that. We got it for. But it works good for like little or smaller stuff. For any crown I'm doing like 7 1/4, I'm going to use my big saw. I don't like compounding. It's just compounds, you're compounding, and you know how it is, no sealing straight. I like to roll my molding. I don't like to do too much geometry and math, because it just never works out like that unless you're floating off the ceiling. So there you have it. I'm going to try and get back to work now, because this was ridiculous. All right, have a good one, guys.